Hiya! Penguin Truth here, and welcome to Otaku Evolution. Today we'll be looking at a fantasy anime based on a series of novels, Record of Lodoss War. For the record, I don't have a whole lot of experience with fantasy anime. I'm currently watching Somali in the Forest Spirit, which I'm enjoying, but I found most of the fantasy anime I've seen lacking. Escaflowne would be an extreme exception, it being one of my favorites. And Record of Lodoss War is a fantasy story in every way we've come to expect fantasy to be. Knights, kings, wizards, dragons, elves, dwarves, etc. Probably because the original novels were based on sessions of Dungeons & Dragons that creator Ryo Mizuno participated in during the 80s. I guess years of sitting in a basement with a group of unwashed nerds rolling 8-sided dice and arranging minifigs pays off more for some than others.
Steal your bag of holding, cut off your head with my Vorpal blade, and throw your corpse in the fires of Lake Piracema.
Whoa, easy, Steve.
I am not your father, okay? I'm just Balthor, a simple ogre blacksmith trying to make a living.
バカだな。これから誰が馬のひづめ剥がすんだよ。
Oh, don't look at me. I'm more of a GURPS guy. Record of Lodoss War is pretty standard fantasy fare with no twist on the premise. But that isn't to say it isn't good. It can be rather compelling at times when it focuses on the right characters. But what is Record of Lodoss War about? Aside from thirsty elves, I mean. The island of Lodoss consists of several kingdoms, which are all under siege by a nearby power, Marmo, and their dark forces, led by Emperor Beld. The heroic kings King Von of Valis and King Kashu of Flame have to muster their forces in an attempt to prevent being conquered. Among those brave enough to take on the Marmo is a young man named Parn, who leaves home the way the Elric brothers did. Parn ends up traveling with a group of RPG mainstays. For instance, there's a high elf named Deedlit, a several hundred-year-old who somehow finds the pretty bland Parn to be charming for some reason. I mean, I guess Parn is earnest without deceit or hidden agenda. Deedlit is skilled in wind magic and is a friend of the forest fairies. She can be a little obstinate and short-tempered, but it's probably because Parn can be clueless about her feelings.
Isn't King Cashew wonderful?
As skilled at the dance as he is with the sword.
Hey, come on!
Huh? Oh.
Dance!
Wait. No, Deed, I can't. Ow! Ooh,
A running storyline in the first 8 episodes is the dwarf Ghim's quest to save a young woman named Lelia, the daughter of an acquaintance, from the clutches of the witch Carla, who has possessed her body. Ghim takes this task gravely serious. And while he plays a secondary teacher to Parn, his mission to retrieve Lelia takes precedent over all other happenings, even the war. One of the other interesting characters in the story is a thief named Woodchuck. The rest of the group meets him while being held in a dungeon. Apparently, he'd gotten himself into a lot of trouble and was there for a while. Parn saves Woodchuck's life when the jail collapses, and he joins the group as a kind of sarcastic rogue familiar with traps and good with throwing knives. He's a bit of an incorrigible rascal, but he has his own kind of wisdom.
just once. Would you please talk straight?
Well, now that you're a knight of Valis, you're probably going to wind up forgetting all about the pain we saw coming here.
Wood, this has to be done.
If you can't forget it, you're in trouble. Because if you don't, you'll never be able to kill a man in battle. Huh? Some choice, huh?
Oh, and Etoh the priest/white mage and Slayn the sorcerer are also there. Neither of them do much besides support Parn and Ghim, respectively, and they really don't have their own arcs or motivations. They sort of just round out the party. More interesting characters appear in the form of Shiris and Orson. Shiris is a fearless mercenary hero partnered with Orson, who seems mild-mannered but is actually a berserker. If you endanger any woman, especially Shiris, he'll unleash an amazing power. Shiris appears to be the only one who can calm him down. After the battle with Carla, these two appear a few times to help Parn and the gang take on Marmo. The antagonists have a few interesting characters too, like Ashram, the Black Knight. He's sort of this badass conqueror type who does most of Emperor Beld's dirty work, and then later has a bigger role in a power struggle between him and the dark wizard Vagnard. It's hard to pin down his personality, aside from just being generally badass and steadfast in his goals. Once he has an eye on something, he goes for it full bore. He cuts a striking figure, too, and always draws the viewer's attention to his presence. I'd like to have explored his ambitions a little more, but it's clear he seeks to unite Marmo's forces.
I thought you... When did I ever allow you to do whatever you wanted? Who carried you back from the netherworld? I see you've thrown your lot in with that witch. The powers of the gods are beyond any man's abilities. Even yours, Vagnard. You should know your limits.
The witch Carla, on the other hand, while seemingly siding with Marmo, is actually always just on her own side. She is obsessed with keeping balance in Lodoss, so that nobody has more power than anyone else. She's possessed several bodies over the ages for the single-minded purpose of ensuring all things are on the whole equal and balanced. It just so happens she believes this has to be done by helping the Marmo invade. For a while, anyway.
My lord Cashew.
Why, it's you!
Parn, do you know her?
She's that witch, the one who tried to capture the princess!
What?
Ah, Cashew. Did you enjoy my little diversion?
Do you mean that assassin?
Allow me to help you. Lodoss depends on it.
Don't trust her!
But probably my favorite character is the bandit king Cashew, who united his people through his sword. He plays a sort of mentor to Parn, who definitely looks up to him for his boldness. Any scene with Cashew, you're gonna have a good time with the air of grandiosity and presence the man has. I only wish they had given him more to do in the final act. Anyway, he's awesome. And hey, this OVA has dragons! And who doesn't love dragons? Look at these dragons! Almost like the copyright dragons that harass me every day, destroying my Vimeo account despite my reviews being carefully crafted to fall under fair use exception. Ah, dragons, 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 dragons! I'm not bitter or anything! Look at these dragons! Fucking dragons, folks! Looks like I'm going to be doing some re-editing for YouTube standards. But back to the dragons. In the Vagnard arc, there's a battle against a real doozy of one named Shooting Star that both Parn's crew and Ashram's group take part in. Ultimately, they're able to defeat it, at a cost for Ashram. Honestly, I would have been satisfied if the whole OVA was just fighting different dragons. The dragon fights are cool. Watch them with some heavy metal playing. Record of Lodoss War could be a really beautiful anime. Its environments are sumptuous, the character designs are splendid if simple, and the animation can be quite good at times, mostly in the first episode, if occasionally limited. The background music is nothing to write home about, but the opening and closing themes are excellent. So the production values are, on the whole, pretty good, and really help you get invested in the world that these characters inhabit. There isn't a whole lot more than what you see, but what you see is entertaining on its own. Whether it's the War of Heroes, the struggle for the scepter of domination, or the final battle with Vagnard as he prepares to sacrifice Deedlit, you're going to be compelled enough to keep on watching until the end. So, a simple but good show that gives me a little more experience with fantasy anime. Though I'm really surprised I haven't heard of other franchises started by taking records of D&D or other role-playing sessions. Surely between the 80s and now, some sessions' tales have been entertaining enough to at least turn into books, right? Though I guess recorded sessions themselves are turning into TV shows nowadays, like Critical Role. I've never seen it myself, but I've heard good things. Next time on Otaku Evolution, we return to that scarred sawbones, Dr. Blackjack. Until then, see ya!
Let all the wonders come to me. The fantasy